Hello, hello, hello. We are live, aren't we, Cody?
We are definitely live. I'm on the wrong side too.
That's okay. It's the right side for 2024.
That's right.
Let's just get this shit going. It is you're watching and of course listening to Tags Live, aka the live edition where we are here every Wednesday night with sex positivity. This is episode 531. I am your host, Steve V, alongside Kodi Maurice Doggette. How the hell you doing, Cody?
Hello, darling. I'm loving the left side. I feel very powerful over here. I feel like a top. Oh my goodness.
To the left, to the left.
Come on, Beyonce. You better know Beyonce, baby.
The only one you're going to get out of me next of this year. But yes.
I've got you. You've been converted to Beyonceism.
Well, we are live in front of a virtual audience. Hi, Caladad. Hi, Bryce, Doug, Malibu, just to name a few. A little later in this episode, we got a little technical difficulties, but we got it squared away.
Amen.
We have Mama Tits joining the show in a little bit here in about 10 minutes or so. And we are so excited because I just saw Mama Tits earlier this year and again last night. I know you saw her when we were on our Vacaya, Mexico resort vacay. And aren't you so excited to have her on the show?
I can't wait. She's such a ball of energy and love and light, and I adore Mama Tits.
Oh,
really.
We're going to have a lot of fun. But let's get into a couple of hot topics. Well, first, a couple announcements that, we've been off for a little bit. I know we did Tags Live last week, but we were off for a minute. And we just want to remind you that we have a brand new podcast aside from TAGSPodcast, aside from Tags Live, and it's called Of a Certain Age. OACA, OACA, and we just dropped a brand new episode today, episode 10, and it's about energy healing with our special guest, Jonergy. And it is worth listening to, particularly at this time of year. It's all about the vibrations that we all possess. We all have these layers of energy about 7 inches away from our body, and you can heal past traumas. You can use it to manifest whatever you want in this world. And I know Mama Tits would be all about this. And so, anyways, you need to listen to episode 10. How much fun did you love interviewing John Steen, Jonergy?
I love Jonergy so much. Again, I was talking about love and light, and he's that as well. It was just so wonderful to feel so enveloped in kindness and forgiveness, and to have that experience with him, and to be able to pick his brain a little bit about what it means and where it comes from. And it was just great. It was a great experience all around, and I love him. I would love to have him back too. So. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's episode 10 of a certain age, OACA, wherever you get your podcast, check it out. It dropped today and we really want you to embrace it like we have. Okay, well, we are going to skip around a little bit here because we have a couple things to get to. Little sidebar note, we were going to talk about this new study that we'll just give you the quick rundown. There's a new study about bisexuality that essentially says that bisexuals are helping to keep gay people from going extinct. Okay, work with me on this one. It essentially means that they sleep with more people and have more babies, so the gene pool in bisexuals will continue on. It's a study, y'all, so that's all. I'll post this on TAGSPodcast so you can read it. But I do believe that we need to give more attention to pansexuals, bisexuals. We have already on the show, Cody, but I'm a friend to somebody that is married, and that's all I'm going to say. He's married with 2 kids. The kids and the wife are out of town, and he asked me to buy him a dildo while the kids and the fam are away.
What?
I did on my Amazon account, and I had it shipped to him, and he's having a he likes a good pounding, not necessarily from
I mean, who
men.
doesn't?
I know, but it's just so interesting, and he really enjoys it, and I guess I'm an accessory to a crime.
You aided and abetted his sexual deviance. Oh my goodness. Look
We're
at
so
you.
close,
I'm calling
though.
Judge Judy, honey, okay?
It is kinda one of those crazy stories, but, I love him dearly, and I hope I fulfilled his fantasies with the dildo that we bought him. It's huge, though. It's like one of those huge dildos.
What? I can't even
Yeah.
take one of those. How big was it?
It was like 10 inches. It's a little too girthy for him,
What?
and I like a good girth.
He
I'm
is a
not mad at it.
professional. 10 inches. That's nothing to play with.
Well, listen,
That's not a
on
game. Let's just talk about
yeah,
that.
exactly. I mean, on my new OnlyFans, Sexy Poppy Steve V, I just dropped a new video today where I unbox, and friend to the show, Jin, filmed me. That was a whole thing in and of itself. To have somebody that you know that's a friend of yours film you in a sling with your legs spread open, unboxing a dildo and then using the dildo, we actually were so professional. I felt like we were in studio mode. All of
Oh,
a sudden, I was on the set of a porn set that I had in my, because you've been to my condo many times. You
yeah,
shot in there. It can
yeah.
turn in, it's kind of got like Barbie. You can just mix and match it, and all of a sudden it becomes a playhouse of sorts. And it's really kind of cool. Well, we turned my condo into a BDSM where my legs were in the air. I was in this sling using this purple dildo from Adam's Toy Box. Shout out to
Okay.
Adam's Toy Box.
Hey.
And it wasn't that big, though. It wasn't 10 inches, but
That was gonna be my question to you. Was it 10 inches? How big was it? Tell
it
me.
was only about 7 inches, but it
Okay.
was
Just
silicone, a really good
respectable.
silicone. And I was surprised at how free I was with the using of the dildo in front of my friend, but he was snapping away, filming
I'm
away.
sure he
We
was.
we had 3 cameras going. It was the real deal. We were so professional. We got the job of the deed. I was gonna say the deed, but we got the job done.
Oh, no, you did the deed, okay?
I did the
Alright.
deed. I got the money shot at the tail end, which comes out tomorrow ahead of my birthday. It's my birthday week. And on Friday, January 12th is my birthday. Dick pics will be welcomed. So slide into my DMs. I am underscore Steve V. Just putting it all out there. I'm going to be on Jet's Naked Beach Tours this Friday
You see
here in
plenty
Puerto
of dicks there.
Vallarta, and we'll hopefully be shooting some more. But you can follow my OnlyFans at onlyfans.com/sexy poppy Steve V and check that out. So yeah, Cody, I know you were
Right.
shooting some new material in my any
I
announcements you want to make?
I not the kind that you just announced, but I'm gonna release one of the pictures that we took, my favorite one. I'm gonna post it tomorrow. So show me some love on Mr. Maurice, guys, because I really love this picture. I do have an announcement I would like to tell you.
Of course you do.
I used one of your vests in the photo shoot, so the picture that I'm wearing tomorrow is one of your vests. So
Got it.
thank
And of
you.
course, I can't get mad because we're live on air, and so I just have to kind of go with it, I guess. But no, of course, I
It
love
was
it.
too fabulous. It was too fabulous. I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Because yes, all right. But
I
thank you,
love
boo.
it. Thank you. Cali Dad says happy birthday in advance. I appreciate that. And yes, I'm really looking forward to this birthday. Yeah, we just got so many good things coming your way. And we might as well bring on our very special guest at this point
Yes.
now, because I see the pink hair is ready to go. Let's just bring on our very special guest, Mama Tits, to the show. Hello, 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 Mama Tits.
Hello. Hello,
Ooh,
hello. How are
yes.
we?
Uh,
Fabulous. Looking fabulous. We're all looking fabulous. We're all feeling fabulous.
Aren't we
So
all though? And I like how we kind of got this monochromatic you know, memo. I like the, I'm in kind of like the black t-shirt, you're in the black tank, and then you've got this like white t-shirt with the black writing. It's very, mm,
I like that.
it's very porn set.
Oh,
Very porn
Very
set.
cool. I feel
Very,
very
very porn
close
set.
to you as well because we're both in Puerto Vallarta. I'm not sure what part of
hmm
town. I feel like I could shout out the window and maybe hear you, but we were doing a sound check earlier. I was telling my sister it's so funny. And in Puerto Vallarta, Mama Tits, there's sounds and there's whistles going on and there's people selling stuff on the street. I could hear it in the feedback outside earlier. There's all kinds
Oh,
of crazy. You know what
we
I'm
had to
talking
close
about,
the
right?
doors of the house a little bit and shut it all up because there's the guy outside with the plantains and the sweet potatoes, and he's got this little choo-choo
Ooh.
train thing with
Yes.
a fire in it, and then he has this steam whistle that just
Steam
is
whistle.
the loudest thing in the world, and it just comes out of nowhere, but it's the sweetest and most wonderfulest sound, and he serves it with sweetened condensed milk, and it's really, really, really fun little quirk of the neighborhood. We have a lot of them. A lot of
That
different
one
ones. We
and
have the
the
pan
so that
guy. We have the sweetbread guy. We have, the tamale guys. We have,
what's the one
vegetarian
that's like
tacos.
da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and they're it's like they do this thing and they're I don't know what they're
Well, there's
selling.
like zeta gas, and you're like, what? Well, okay, the gas guy's driving by, and then you honk out your window, and you're like, I need a fucking bottle of gas. And all of a sudden, you have some very, very muscular, either middle-aged or younger gentleman running up your stairs with a bottle of gas on his shoulders. That's 300 pounds. It's
Well,
insane.
we
I
have
was like, oh,
Do you invite him
well,
in for a glass of water? Is my question.
girl, no entiendo, lo
No
siento.
entiendo.
well, let us properly introduce you. Welcome
Hello.
to Tags Live, Mama Tits, and called the Sweetest Potty Mouth in town.
You're welcome.
I can attest to that. A professional entertainer since 2001, and your mission is to bring much laughter, strength, and joy to as many people as possible. I just saw you last night at the Palm. Seen you twice already, 3 times actually, including Vakaya. Welcome, Mama Tits.
Thank you. Thank
Can
you
we
so
just
much
bow
for having
down
me, Kodi
now?
and Steve. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Oh, babe, we're so happy
Although,
to
forgive
have
me,
you.
I'm a little stoned because after that technical difficulty moment, girl, she's been sitting here in the
You gotta
wings smoking
de-stress,
her joint.
honey.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cheers.
Salud.
Yes. Cody, go
All
ahead.
right.
Start things
Well,
off.
yes, Mama, we know
Yeah.
that you are such a wonderful and amazing and dynamic performer. But I want to know, how did you develop your act? Because I know a lot of the girls, they lip sync, right? But you sing live, which is
hmm
such a wonderful and lovely experience. I know I enjoyed it, because your whole show is simply fantastic. How did you
Thank you.
develop that? And how did you know that you wanted to sing in your act?
Well, it was an interesting cause of effects. I was a entertainer for when I was a little kid. I sang when I was a little kid. I did opera when I was a teenager. When I was in high school, I actually joined the Opera Idaho Company in Boise, Idaho, and was the youngest paid member of their adult opera company at the age of 15, and
Wow.
doing Tosca and Pirates of Penzance and
Mm.
Il Tradidor and Gabriele de Sevilla, and being in the chorus, not being any big part or anything, just being one of the chorus members, but being around these amazing singers and amazing conductors, and and so it was really inspiring to me as a young kid. We of course were not wealthy. There was no college option. There was none of that, and I didn't have. I had too much of as friends would call it, a dark trailer, if you will, of things that kind of happened. So I wasn't able to kind of go to school or anything. So I kind of went and did the School of Life. Fast forward to found drag again, kind of later, was able to kind of play with it. Joined the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, found my way back
Oh.
to the
What?
stage. Yeah, I joined the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence in Seattle, Washington, the Abbey of St. Joan, many, many, many years ago. In 2003 is when I joined the order, and it was around the same time that my husband and I got married, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to let this drag out of the bag. Like, I finally married him, so now I'm going to let you know, like, this is who. Because
How did
back
that
then,
go
it
over?
it actually was great. He's really wonderful. I mean, he's punk rock, so we are complete polar opposites in music and style and everything. And actually, that's quite wonderful because that always has unique and interesting perspectives to share. It drives us insane all the time, but we've been together for 24 years, so through that, like, it's opposites attract. It's the best thing ever. So we fast forward to me kind of joining the sisters. Really found my way back to the stage, and then one of the sisters told me, you should really kind of pursue this more. And another friend of mine in the community was like, girl, there's an opening at the celebrity impersonation show down the street. Girl, you should go over down there and you should tell them what for and tell them to give you your own show and blah, 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 blah. Sorry, buses. I live in an old Mexican home. It's not very sealed. It's very open air. House was built like 70 years ago here. So, and I went over there all tenacious and everything, like a crazy homosexual, and stomped in there and was like, you should give me a show. And he goes, I'm not going to do that. But he goes, but you can work in my show. And so he had me as the host, and it ended up being the same place that like Jinx Monsoon was working. Later on, she ended up coming up after me. And that's where Mama Tits was born, really, in doing this almost what I call it is drag boot camp. It was the first time I'd ever had like a real job. I had to hit rehearsals. I had to be at rehearsals every week. We had to show every dude, and you did the same thing every night. I'd never experienced that. It was a hobby before. And so that's kind of where she was born. But the basis of her is a sister. So I always wanted to do, because doing drag in the 90s and everything, it was all fun. It was glamorous. It was, you want to be a club kid. You went out, you went for the fabulous stuff of it. But I wanted a little something more when I came back. And the sisters taught me a lot more. And so then when I came back to drag, I was like, I kind of want to play with that and see what happens. And then fast forward to my life changing when I took on those anti-gay protesters at Seattle Pride and showed me what I need to kind of, the direction I need to be, which is kind of an inspirationalist, a public speaker to kind of bring people together and kind of motivate everybody to realize that they have the power in them, because it took me a long time to remember that. And fuck, if I can help somebody notice that and cut their suffering a little bit, great. Come on, let's have fun. And fast forward, now I'm here in Vallarta, and boom. So long story long.
I love but I'm so glad you mentioned the sisters, because we're big fans of them as well, and it explains a lot of your messaging. Because one of the things, of course, your voice is amazing, the music, the show is hilarious, polished, but you have such a positivity and messaging that you often about inclusion, and really to, like, we all, no matter who you are in LGBTQ plus land, you are internally suffering or dealing with some backstage drama in your own life. And last night I was reminded by so much of the messaging that you put forth to embrace who I really am. And at 53 almost now, I'm still struggling with this stuff. Your messaging is so positive. Talk a little bit more about the shows and the messaging you put forth.
So the whole point of what I do is almost therapy for me at the same time. It's reminding myself every day that, shut up, stop freaking out, stop telling yourself you're not worth it, stop sitting in your own head and panicking about what you said to somebody in passing that they're not ever remembering, but you're obsessing about because you want to be perfect or whatever. It's like, these are little things that I go through. I am perpetually crippled by anxiety and wanting to be understood, and so I use this as a vessel to kind of help other people. I mean, I've been through a lot of shit, and not saying that my shit's any worse than anybody else, but to me it was a lot, and I've come through a lot, and so it's helped me. It's kind of this interesting thing where the more I help other people, the more it helps me. The more I help other people, the more it helps me, because I'm just we're all trying to figure this out. And there's no right or wrong answer. There's different moral compasses. Everybody has different ideas of what they think is right and wrong, but we're all trying to figure it out. And hopefully maybe we realize that we're not all suffering. Because I know, I agree with you. Every queer person is battling their own demons, but I also don't want to forget that just because the heterosexuals are walking around completely dripping in privilege, let's not ignore that. But
Mhm.
they're
Okay.
completely walking around in that privilege, but there is still bullshit that is being put on them. And if we
That's
can
right.
at least look at some of those similarities, and it's not a competition because well, we win. But but the point is,
For sure.
we're the only group that spans everybody. Like we're the
Yeah.
only one
Yeah.
that spans all of time, everybody. Like we win. Anyways, but if we can find a point where we can connect, then we can maybe stop this ripping apart and this point of this fear. Because when you see yourself, when you see a commonality between yourself and something that maybe you feared or something you don't like, it can make you rethink things. And so I don't know. I've been hurt so much and I've had so many things in my past. I don't want to feel that way anymore. And
Right.
so I don't want other people to feel that way. And I want other people that have felt that way that they're not, I want them to know they're not alone, because I felt alone for so long. So this is a journey also for me. And part of it is learning how to take a direction that's a little more broad than just, what I need to go through. But it's a journey. It's a wonderful, amazing, infuriating, wild, scary journey.
I
Wow.
love it. And we're
So
live with Mama Tits. If you're just joining us, put your questions in the chat box. We'll get to them throughout the show. But Kodi, I know you want to keep with
oh
the
yeah,
yeah.
definitely. I kind of want to kind of expound a little bit on what you were just talking about
Okay.
because from what I've heard, I don't know for sure because I haven't been a drag queen yet, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay, we can have a whole podcast about this.
But from what I've heard, it's almost as if your drag persona allows you the ability to tap into parts of yourself that you haven't experienced before. How would you say Mama Tits has expounded or expanded your personality? Or what would you say that it has done for you? I would like to.
So it's an interesting dichotomy, because it is a double-edged sword, because the character that I put out there, she is me. She is me personified in the biggest way possible, paying respect to powerful women and inspirational people that have shaped my life. And so she tries to maintain this respect and this level of, this, she has just this level that she needs to kind of abide by. And it is kind of my own thing, but it keeps me in check. It keeps me constantly reminding myself, that, you need to look at things through different eyes whenever possible and not jump to conclusions. Because I'll tell you what, this asshole can be a dick. And I try not, and I really try
I don't
not to,
believe
but
it.
I
no,
don't either.
but I'm human, I'm
Yeah.
human, and I'm flawed, and I'm not perfect, but I'm going to try, and I'm going to hold myself accountable whenever I can. I'm not going to always be the easiest to take feedback, but I'm going to try, and I always want to be the best version of what I can be. And the great thing about her is that she can be beyond what I can in some way. She can speak to you in a way, she can walk up to anybody that she doesn't even know, and she can say things to their face, and they will allow her and ask her for more. Whereas if I walked up and said it, they'd be like, who the hell do you think you are? But it's this package, this cartoon, this over the top. But also I think there's this energy that I really try to maintain, that she is not threatening.
Mm-hmm.
She's huge. She's got big tits. She's got an ass, but she's also she's fluffy, and she's lovable, and she's vulnerable, and she's letting you know that you're okay. And so she's like a big teddy bear, which is kind of the biggest personification of me, because like people think they see me, I'm this giant creature. I'm 6'6", I'm 300 plus pounds. I'm a big man, although on my way to a smaller waistline.
Okay.
Get it, Queen. Get it.
Working on it. And injectables are one thing. Skinny bitches can use it for one reason, but us fat girls do need it sometimes. And this magical little thing is helping a girl, and I'm very grateful for where I'm going healthy wise. But it's an interesting experience, because people get intimidated by me just existing. Brian gets told all the time, your feelings, your emotions, however your energy is affects everyone around you. So you need to be on the best behavior of anybody.
Wow.
You're intimidating just when you walk in the room. And this is something that, okay, well, this is what people feel. And this is part of being this giant creature. But inside of it, and granted, I'm also boisterous. I'm very opinionated. You ask me what I think. I'm not going to fucking filter it. I will on it because I don't like lying. I'm going to just tell you what it is.
I feel that.
I'm not going to sit there and lick your fucking asshole if I don't like it. I mean, granted, girl.
If it's a nice asshole, though.
But that's what I'm saying. If I don't like it, but girl, if it ain't clean, if it ain't pretty, if it ain't gonna reciprocate,
I mean, come on.
Listen.
I'm not going to yuck anybody's yum. There are people who get into very interesting things and don't mind having fun in little, muddy grounds. But that's okay. But for me, no.
Well, one of the things I love about you, Mama, is that you said in the show last night, I didn't realize this because I thought you were much younger. You're Gen X, just like myself, and
Me too.
I'm on the last fucking year of Gen X, but
we got to talk about that.
Close, girl. I am
the
not
music
a
in the
millennial.
show, honey.
Thank you,
it's
baby.
all of my era. I'm just loving it. You go a little deep though in the show too, and we won't reveal anything on
I
this
don't think any of
show.
it's a secret. I don't think any of it's a secret. So feel free to don't feel free.
Well, you do "Wicked Game" by Chris Isaac, one of my favorite songs of all time. Also because he was from San Francisco, where I'm from, and I know Kodi wants to do his version of Wicked
Grew
Game
up in the
at some
South
point.
Bay myself, so I get it.
Okay, Bay Area. Yeah, okay, I'm Bay Area. So, you talk about a dark time in your life. You're not afraid to go there in the show too, like to really share. Talk a little bit about that.
So I have a really interesting life. I'm actually really grateful that I fucking survived because the 90s was an interesting time. I grew up when there was no internet, when there was no cell phones, and then I remember my dad had one that had a briefcase that it was in his car. And we thought it was really cool. It was $1.99 a minute to call my mom, but I could call her, had little green lights that lit up on the phone. I could say, oh my God, I'm with Dad. I'm in the car. Boom. That's it. Like, hang it up because it's too expensive. And there was, if you didn't know the answer, you had to go look it up at the library. It was like, or you'd ask mom and dad, and they just bullshit you.
We had encyclopedias, so I get it.
Exactly. We were poor.
Me too.
We didn't have that. We went to the neighbors who had like 3 volumes here and 4 volumes there. So we, when I say I grew up poor white trash, she was poor white trash. But for me, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. My goodness,
sorry.
Please help me back.
No, just basically talking about the music.
Stoner.
That,
So the Chris and being vulnerable and everything like that.
What you really reveal of yourself.
Sorry.
In the Chris Isaac
Stoner.
song.
So I have not hit it since. So So I was really lucky to survive what I did, and I found the Club Kids when they were on Phil Donahue.
Ah, yes.
I remember that. Like I was young. I was really young and I wasn't supposed to know it, but I was like, what is this? What is this? And I was very honest. Like when I'm in the show telling about like I was trying to figure out what I was when I was young in the 80s, that's really what was happening. And I was running, trying to figure it all out. And I saw this on TV. So I ran away to New York City. I was in New York City by the time I was 18 years old, and I was going out to Stonewall, and I was going out to Club Life, and I was going out to Curfew, and I was running into Lady Bunny in the bar and seeing RuPaul and Kevin Aviance and and all this. Like it was nuts. And
wow,
Sandra Bernhard is around the way. I'm working at the Tiffany's restaurant, and I worked at the Night Gallery restaurant. Like girl, yeah, like I was all underage, was able to bullshit my way through it all. Nobody had to check my IDs. Like I was just doing my little thing, and I made my way through it. And I went to the parties and I saw things that I wanted. Then I couldn't keep it up. I couldn't afford it. I couldn't do it. And then I had to come back. And then when I came back is when I kind of started getting into the party world with some people that I had known back then. And then we did a lot of drugs. And when I was 18 to 21, and it was, I'm so thankful that I got to do it because it was looking back on it, I'm nuts, and I can't believe that I did it. But hell, I lived. I did what I wanted.
You're here to tell.
I was very abused when I was younger, and so I was very pent up and scared and afraid. And when I finally broke out, I moved out when I was 16, moved out of my parents' house, and finished high school on my own, living in my friends' family's like guest room, just because I was like I couldn't do it. The abuse was too much. It was not going well, and I all the while partying, going out and doing my thing. But I was running a fucking muck. But then by the time I'm 21, I went to, instead of going drinking, I'll tell you this, I was such a partier. I went to Paul Oakenfold on a 10 strip of acid and 3 booty bumps of ecstasy, and went to Paul Oakenfold for my 21st birthday and still have the dollar signed from him saying happy birthday. Paul
Ooh.
Oakenfold.
Oh,
That
I
part.
want to read the book.
Girl, like that's the thing, is like I was not afraid to just get out there and do the things, like, and I was stupid and I was crazy, but whoa, the time, and thank God there was no video, there was no
That's what I
internet, there was
said.
nothing, because we could be stupid. And I think now that's the thing, is like that's what I really hold on to, is that we're so mean now.
Yeah.
We're acting like nobody's ever lived before. We're acting like nobody's ever done anything, or nobody's ever fucked up before, or nobody's ever fucked somebody, that they knew, or that, whatever. Nobody fucked themselves in a goddamn sling with a dildo in front of their friend before, that sort of thing.
I just did it on my OnlyFans. So yeah,
Girl, it's called full circle. She's paying
okay.
attention. But
Come on, call back. I love it.
But those types of things, like now people are judgmental so quick, and it's like, wait. Back then, when there was anonymity, it was like, no, we would just let it go to the wind.
And also, the people that are judging you probably want to do it or have done it, and they don't want anybody else to know. How about that?
That part.
Exactly.
That part. Or they're shamed by it. And the other thing is, like, don't be shamed. Like,
Yeah.
like, so what if you made a mistake? So what if you screwed up? Like, I don't care how big it is. I mean, granted, there are limitations.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of, what's acceptable in life and what's a fuck up. I mean, even if you end up, you go to jail, you pay your time, you do your thing, baby. Come on out, get your life together and get your shit together. Like, I'm not here to judge you. I don't know your circumstances.
That's right.
I don't know what you went through. I don't know what desperation you were in, or what mindset you were in, or how you were beaten down. So why am I going to judge you? But then why would you judge me?
Mm-hmm. Well,
seeing one of your shows is like a TED Talk, and it's brilliant. And then you're entertained, and even seeing you now, and we saw you on the beach promoting your show at Sapphire, and I just can't with the nail. I'm so obsessed with the nails. Your nails are everything.
You can thank Barbara Streisand for all of this.
It's very Barbara, and I'm living for it. So I just wanted to commend you on that. And
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. No, it's an honor to be appreciated. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm just kind of doing what I do. And I always feel like maybe people hate it. Maybe people don't like it, because it doesn't resonate with everybody. Not a lot of people are ready to hear it. And that's the interesting part, is seeing, like, especially doing the shows that I do, like, I'm up against all these other amazing world-class entertainers. And you're constantly looking at different things, and people are telling you, well, you shouldn't be so preachy. That's what I get all the time. Like, people telling me, oh, they love you. They just love you. But, they wish you just weren't so preachy.
Oh,
and I'm like,
that's what I love about it's not preachy at all. It's inspiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny. Somebody made a comment to me last night when I actually made a slight comment. He's like, who said that? Old white men?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, that part.
There we go.
But it's also, I internalize it. And why do I internalize it? Because I want people to understand the basis behind it. But I have to remind myself that that's okay. They're not ready to hear it. That's all right, girl. Maybe one day you will be. If not, whatever. Enjoy your day.
And also, if I can just interject for a second,
Please.
like, it's all about you. There's somebody in that audience that needs to hear the message that you're bringing them, and that you want to reach those people and not necessarily be concerned with all these other people that have so much to say about you and your message. That's just, it's frivolous to me. So nobody should be.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, after you. Go ahead. Whatever you want.
Well, it's interesting, because it is a constant battle, because I'm constantly putting myself out there. And that's why I'm constantly telling people to, like, really don't listen to it. But it's also telling yourself, looking in the mirror, going, seriously, don't listen to it. Because it's hard when you hear the noise. The noise is coming, and it's coming, and it's coming. And you're just like, wait, I'm trying to be authentic. I'm trying to be myself. maybe they're not ready. Don't internalize it, because it's hard not to.
Yeah.
Because,
Right.
I don't want people to look at it as something that is judgmental or is pointing a finger. I want it to look at it as something that is embracing and wonderful. And so I don't know, that's a hard thing for me, but it's part of my journey, and I think there's a reason why I struggle with it. And it's
Mhm.
something for me, and it's something inside, and one of these days we'll find that point. But I'm enjoying the journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, and all of that.
Yes. Well, you've touched me, so just think of you touching me
Please tell me I
whenever
had consent. Please tell me there was consent, because
There was definitely, and I loved every second. I said, "Please touch me, Mama Tits."
And we are live, and Bryce says, "I love you, Mama Tits."
Oh my
Vivian
goodness, thank you so much, Bryce. I appreciate it. Oh,
Vivian
and
says, "I
Vivian,
love
I
your
see that.
message, Mama Tits," as
Thank you.
well. So
Thank you.
absolutely, I as well. We have to talk because you mentioned you have such a you're amazing, but you've got put together so many people. Diego, your background's your singer, that you work
Music
with,
partner.
music
Music
partner.
partner.
Thank you.
Yes.
And the dancers, you are also one of your dancers is part of your relationship. You are in a throuple. It's something we talk about on this show a lot, talk about gay sex. And how did that come about? Was it in the casting process that you said, "Hey, you're going to be part of our relationship"? Was it
No.
Madonna and you just pointed to him?
Sorry. Explosions and sirens.
Hey,
Where are we? I
we're in Puerto
apologize.
Vallarta. I think you're around the corner from me
I
because I can
think
hear it on my end.
he
Because it's
looked
the
over. He was like,
fireworks.
"What's
No,
going
your
on?"
microphone's great. We're good. Yeah.
Okay. So what was the question?
So the throuple,
Yes, sorry. I was like, wait, what were we talking about? So yeah, no, it had nothing to do with the casting process, actually. I started the show kind of as a solo girl, and then had a pianist, music partner years ago, Nathan Young, who really just helped me invaluably, helped me really kind of hone my voice and find kind of my voice as a cabaret artist. And I'm so grateful for every time that he spent, well, all the time that we spent together and working. And then that developed into me finding Diego later, and then him and I kind of finding this really magic connection between the two of us, like kind of older brother, younger brother kind of situation, where we travel well together. Our voices just harmonize really
I was going to say
beautifully.
harmony.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's also just the harmonics,
Yeah.
the actual harmonics of our voices
Totally.
together really balance, and it makes and it I just get wet whenever I think about it. But I was at a show. Carmen La Perra here in town had a show, and Carlos was one of her dancers, and he was there and in all of his beautifulness, and I was very taken by his physical presence. And my husband and I have had an open sexual relationship for a long time, because we are very much believing that, I can love you, and if jealousies come up, that's fine. We can talk about it. We need to get to the root of that. We need to reassure each other. And if things need to not happen because of things, we're all open to those open communications. But we also don't want to hold each other back, because sex is not just exclusive to one person. That's so fucking boring. But you're allowed to have freedom of expression of your body and enjoy pleasure. So we've always had that. And so the first night I met him, he was like, "Wait, you're Mama Tits?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh," and he was intrigued. And he's a showman. He's a professional dancer. He's classically trained. He went to one of the most prestigious universities in Mexico. Like, he really is brilliant at dancing, and he's also just gorgeous in motion, and not only sexy. And
Okay.
and we connected immediately. And fast forward, I had a standing like Sunday fun day a couple of years ago, and I would just kind of invite people and be like, "Just come meet me at Sapphire," because I've been sponsored by them for years, and they've been kind of my happy place here in Puerto Vallarta. It's a pool on the beach. I don't have to get in the ocean. I don't get dirty in the sand. I can lay on lay next to the sun, see the water, hear the waves, and get in the pool. Like, I'm good.
Fabulous.
And Diego showed up that day. Other people, nobody showed up except for Diego. Diego ended up leaving, and then he showed up on his own, and we connected. And I was like, hold on, before this goes any further, let me introduce you to my husband. Fast forward, they met, they connected rapidly.
Oh, wow.
We're now 2 years into it.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, and once we were starting to date and really got to know each other, I was like, and I was like, let's get in the show. And I was like, do you want to dance in the show? And he was like, well, yeah, that'd be fun. And we talked about, that's when I started finding out a little bit more about kind of the pay in town and how a lot of dancers are paid and how low wages are. And I was like, well, I can pay you way more than that. Like,
Oh, wow.
a shit ton more than that. Like, and I'm happy to do it. Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Like, and I appreciate, like, people ask me all the time, what's your fee? And I'm like, do you really want to know? Because it's not cheap.
Right.
It's, to walk out the door, it's like you're looking at over $2,500 for me to walk out the door into your event. And it goes from there. It's like, because
Right.
I've been doing this too long. I'm not
Yeah.
doing it for a hobby.
You know?
And I know what I'm doing and I know my value, but I also respect other artists. And I say, you know what? Know your value.
Wow.
Ask for your value. And if you don't know it, I'm not going to just take advantage of you. If I think you're worth more, I'm going to be like, well, how about I can afford this? And hopefully you accept.
Yeah.
And from then on, it's like he joined other shows and they're all paying just as well because all the other performers are also really, really generous and really wonderful. And I'm so grateful to work among so many great world-class entertainers because nobody's screwing anybody. Everybody gets a good fair shake. And it's just kind of blossomed.
And to
It's
follow
beautiful.
up, it's Carlos, right? Is there?
Yes.
Yes. And to follow up, what could you? So you're 2 years into it,
Mhm.
and do you find, because we talk about it on this show a lot, thruples and open relationships and polyamory and so forth, do you find that it's been easy? You need even more communication between the
Oh
three
God,
of
easy?
you?
I don't know what easy is.
Yeah,
One, I'm
we need to
insane.
remove that from vocabulary, I
I
Yeah,
think.
know, right?
I'm
Yeah.
Nothing in
insane.
life is easy.
Nothing is
Like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm a lot. And so like it's not easy. And
Not me.
and
Not me.
my yes, I hear my husband groaning in the background going, you have no idea, bitch. But my husband, he has his own personality. He's a lot. And the great thing is like with the addition of Carlos into our group, he is super independent. He has his own life. He owns his own home. He has
Hey.
multiple other jobs. He does his own thing. He is focused, but he makes time in his crazy schedule to spend time with us. And we are grateful to open our home and have him a part of our family. And it is beautiful and it's wonderful. It gets weird at times. It gets uncomfortable at times. There are jealousies that pop up and you have to talk about it. And you have to not be afraid of it. Boundaries have to be set. Things have to be talked about. You take things personal, but you're not supposed to take them personal and you got to work through it.
Right.
But it's life. It's just being open to the experience. And if you want the joy, you have to work for it. It's not just going to fucking be handed to you. It's not going to be easy. And if it's too easy, I think in relationships, if it's too easy, you're not in a relationship.
That's
Nothing's
right.
real.
Yeah.
Somebody
Nothing's fucking
is
real.
doing whatever they can to please
Correct.
the other person.
Correct.
So if it's not hard, it's not worth it. I love that.
Correct. And it's like there are limitations, and you also have to accept other people. And so, not only are you accepting your partner, because marriage is not 50-50. Marriage is a fluctuating percentage. Some days they are at 1% and you got to pick up the 99.
Wow.
And it's like, and you agree to do it. You may not do it willingly. You may not be like happy to do it, but you're like, I'll fucking do it. Like, and you're still there. And that's the thing. It's like, it's a choice every day. You choose to stay with that person. And no matter what happens, you choose to not leave. You choose to work it out. You choose to love them through it and to love yourself through it. It's a hard thing to walk, but when you give yourself that freedom, when you realize that this is your choice every day, it makes it a little easier because then you're like, you know what, you're right. And then it also feels good because when you realize, wait, they're choosing me too.
Mm.
Ugh,
Oh my
okay,
God. You just blew my
amen.
mind with that one. So I need to learn that lesson. I hear that. Also, I
Girl, I don't, she speak it, but she trying to, she's scrapping notes over here too.
We got a few more questions though, Mama. So let's.
Oh, please,
Mama,
let's do it.
I'm trying to be part of your drag family, okay? I don't know if you're looking for a new drag daughter,
Come
okay?
on,
But
child.
I think Coco Tits sounds like a good name for me,
Ooh.
okay?
Oh my goodness. You know what? I say? I feel like my hormones are raging. I don't know what's happening.
You're birthing a baby on live.
Oh no, Coco Tits. Oh my God, I love
Coco
that.
Tits.
I give you permission. You may use that. I
Thank
love
you,
that.
darling. Thank you, darling.
Yes.
What advice do you give to younger drag queens that are just starting to come up right now?
Relax.
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 Mm.
Relax, bitch. Calm the fuck down. Like, you don't have to do all the things right now.
Mm.
Enjoy it. Because there will be a point when it's not fun. It's a career. RuPaul
Yeah.
says it all the time. Graham Norton was. I was watching another version of that interview on Graham Norton on TikTok, and they're talking about they were like, he asked her if she ever does it for fun, and she's like, no. And it's a cold day in hell when I will just put it on for fun. I don't. It's my career. It's what I.
Yeah.
It's. To be honest, I like in my older age now that I will be 45 in April, and I'm very, very grateful to have made it that far. I'm starting to explore another persona in my art world, and I'm trying to allow Brian to come forward. It's really interesting.
I feel it.
Yeah, Diego and I are actually in the process of working on a new project called the D&B Project, and it's Diego and Brian project, and it would just be us and a band and kind of doing stuff like that. Because I have a really fun rocker voice, and I can really wail when I want to, and I've always wanted to do it without her. It's a weird freeing thing. Like, she's given me so much, and I will always be Mama, and I will always do shows, and I will always love that. But I want more, and I think it's the next phase for me is I think is expanding me.
Well, I can attest to it. When you do your marketing and you're on the beach, and we talked to you at Sapphire and seen you at Blue Chairs and running around with this pink hair and the nails, it's giving me so much. So
it's Nathan Lane in the birdcage. Go ahead, say it. It's Nathan Lane in the motherfucking birdcage, and I am living my Nathan Lane birdcage fantasy. Like, I walk down the street, and the Guaracheria chicos are like, "Mama, buenos dias, cómo estás?" The taxi guys are hollering at me. People down the street are like, "Hola, mama." I'm like, girl, nobody else gets that around town. I get that, and it's so wonderful, and it's because I'm this big crazy peacock of a creature. So, and I love it.
Well, we would be remiss if we didn't talk about Puerto Vallarta, what drew you to Puerto Vallarta, the energy in Puerto Vallarta, why you continue to have a residency here. You could go anywhere, and I know you were on tour last year. I'm sure we're gonna expect more things, but what is it?
It's in the works right now.
Puerto Vallarta.
So, yes, we are in the works of a new tour.
Yes.
Yeah, this new summer we're working on a new tour. I'm actually working on a Canadian tour, and because I can bring the boys, so I'm really excited about that.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, the U.S. is still racist, so
thank you so much.
I can't bring the boys, but I also don't want to let the fans down, and I have fans all over, and people are responding with quite a few wonderful cities. So I'm super, super grateful with all of that. But living in Puerto Vallarta is one of the best things that's ever happened to me. It changed my life. I came here because of misconception. So Misconception at the Palm Cabaret from Toronto, Canada. When I went viral in 2014, I was thrust onto the world stage. I was subsequently in Advocate magazine as one of 5 advocates in the world to be activists in the world to be watching, along with Lady Bunny, Panty Bliss, Ashfi Lahore, myself. We had this whole spread in the magazine, and all these people from all over the world were connecting with me at the time, and and I met Miss Conception in Seattle, and she was on her way to a cruise, and I was like, "How did you get into all of that?" And she was like, "Why? What do you want? You want to do that?" And I was like, "Girl, duh." And she was like, "Well, I work in Puerto Vallarta, and I can help you down there." And I was like, "Oh, awesome! I've never been to Mexico. Yeah, sure, let's do it." She got me an opportunity at Act Two PV,
Yep.
and I started my residency. I was there for 6 years, and now I'm over at the Palm Cabaret. And because I've been here, I was able to. I was. It was really funny. We got raided by immigration, and
Ooh.
at the theater, and one of the people.
Recently?
No, years and years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
And they got raided in immigration by immigration, and the box office girl got arrested, and like they came back to us, and it was they were just trying to scare the owners of me, like, we know you're paying off the old team, but the new team is in now, and we want to do it right. So now that we have your attention, here's the paperwork. Fill it out. We know you've
Yeah.
been bribing people to just be here, and that's fine. It's worked in the past, whatever. But we're trying to do it right. And Mexico's really done a lot of changing of how things have been operating. And so I took that opportunity. I was like, I can get a visa. I can, yeah.
Oh,
So I went to the consulate. I told them what I do. Literally, I was like, my name is Mama Tits. I'm a drag queen. I do tourists for the gay. I do shows for the gay tourists in Puerto Vallarta, and and I want to live there. And they were like, awesome, welcome to Mexico,
Wow. That is awesome.
and then gave me a work visa, and they were just like, cool, go. And then I was, can I ask can my husband come? And she's like, sure. My husband had an interview, and the only question she asked was, so are you excited to move to Mexico?
What?
Yeah, it was just like, they were so welcoming and so kind. And granted, we went through an interview, we had some screenings, and we did all this. And they did ask us some very official questions, but it was very simple and very welcoming. We came here, we filled out paperwork, did the process, and now we're permanent residents. And
wow.
it's changed me. It's helped me walk the walk more than just trying to be a woke person in Seattle, some white man trying to do the right thing and not really understanding things, putting myself in an immigrant position
Mm-hmm.
in a country that is not mine, that has the people that do not look like me, that speaks a language that is not my own, that I don't know, was extremely humbling. And I'm so grateful that I got to experience that. And it's changed me, and it's allowed me to grow as a person. And I'm forever grateful to Mexico and Puerto Vallarta and the community here, because they make me a better human being every day.
Oh, I
Mama
love
Tits,
that.
we could talk to you all night long, and we have to have you back. But
Please, let's do it.
for people
Yay.
that want to follow you, and how many shows are you doing a week here in town during the season? Let us know.
So I do. So you can get a hold of me at themamatits.com. That's THEMAMATITS.com. You can follow me in all of my shenanigans there on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. It is at the Mama Tits, same as my website. She tried to be consistent, bitch. And yeah, so follow me there. I do 2 shows a week here, Saturdays and Tuesdays, in the Palm Cabaret until end of April or so. But I'll be doing shows through the end of May, at least once a week. And come see me on tour. Follow me, and let's have a good time.
Oh, absolutely. And we thank you so much for doing our
Thank
show
you.
here. We really
I'm so
appreciate it.
honored
You
to
are
be
such
here.
an inspiration. You're hilarious. You're talented. You're a triple threat in my mind. And we love you here.
Thank you.
So
Definitely.
please come back and give us updates on everything. And we will list everything on TAGSPodcast.com for this episode and
I love
follow up with that. Thank you so much.
I'll see y'all
Thank you,
around.
Mama.
Yeah,
You're the best.
Mama.
Mwah. Love you, Mama Tits.
Love
Cheers.
you.
Let's see.
Love
Do I turn
it.
it off? There we go.
Gotcha.
There we go.
Love it. Kodi, oh my goodness.
So wonderful. That was such a great interview. I loved having Mama on there.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I got
She's
new
like-
mother, honey. Okay.
She's my favorite person, right? When you have, like, who could you invite to a dinner party And, like, if you could handpick, like, Madonna, and Madonna would be one of them. Mama Tits would be one of them at that table too.
That's right.
100%.
Let's
Yes.
do it. Let's put her, Mama
Yes.
Madonna, and Beyonce at the
Well, let's
party.
not get crazy, but Kodi, what do we do? Oh, you can always follow my co-host Kodi. He's a life coach. Follow him at KMD Coaching. And I hear he has a brand new song coming out for our new show Of a Certain Age sometime this year.
Sometime
Pretty
this year,
good.
definitely.
Yes.
Yes.
He can also follow him on Instagram, Mr. Maurice, for some really sexy content. And follow our new show, Of a Certain Age Podcast. Of a Certain Age Podcast, wherever you get your podcast. We are on episode 10. Energy healing is what we're talking about with John Steen, Johnergy. You really want to check it out. It'll really set the path forward for the year ahead. I'm doing it myself. Follow me on Instagram. I am _ Steve V. Follow my OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/sexy poppy Steve V. And Kodi, in the meantime, continue
having hot gay sex.
Thank you, everybody. Lovely and amazing.
Yes.
Truly is lovely and amazing.